Hey YouTube, this is Brian from X Bikes, and the video today is going to be something I haven't really seen before. I see a lot of top speed tests, which we're going to do on this, but I wanted to do one before that, a quickness test. So we're going to take the bike out today and do a 0 to 50 test, see how fast we can get from 0 to 50. Hopefully without flipping the bike like I did last time. This has a lot of torque, and I've got to just remember that and lead my body into it so to keep the front tire down. As I said in, I think it was the last video, I have been walking up the amperage on this. Right now it's set at, it's got 150 amp controller, a Sabaton controller, and it's set at stock. Now I've walked it up from, I think we started at 125. Well, actually when I first got the bike, we had it, this is an unlocked controller, by the way, that Sal from E Street Bike sent me as a solid. You're not going to get one of these, okay? When you buy his kit, if you go to him to get your kit, and I would highly recommend it, you're going to get a battery. Actually, I'm sorry, you're going to get two batteries and a 5,000 watt motor and the 150 amp controller here. I did not want the two battery setup because I wanted a bag up here. The only bad thing about that, and the reason I got the unlocked 150 amp controller, is he has a claim that you'll get 70 plus miles an hour with this setup. You have to have the second battery to get it, or it'll do in the mid 60s, right? 65, 60. In order to get your 70 plus miles an hour, you have to, for the extra amperage and voltage, you have to get the double battery setup. Okay, that's what he guarantees if you want that speed, that top end. So I didn't want that, but he did me a solid and sent me a unlocked controller that I can set to almost double stock. Okay, this obviously motor cannot handle 300 amps, but it can handle a little over two. But this unlocked controller mainly goes to his 8,000, 16,000 watt motors he puts on his bombers. But anyways, so we've been walking up from 125. It's stock right now. I'm going to up it up a little more today for this test to 175 amps. And I'm going to show you how to do that with the app that comes with the controller. But first thing you have to do is this. You have to find this connection. Okay, hold on here. I got to find it. Okay, it's right here. And what this connection does is it connects the display to the controller. And this has to be disengaged for you to be able to do to program the controller with the app. It will not program with this connector connected and the display active. Now, if you come up here and look, you'll know you got the right connector when you see this error message, okay? This communication error message. See the red in the red? That means you're good to go. Okay, so now we're going to go over to the app, and I'm going to show you how to pump this thing up or down or whatever you want to do. There's a million different settings to set. And you can customize the power band where you want your amps to come into play. You can even put a limiter on how fast you want to go. I mean, there's endless options, okay? So let's go over to the app now and pump this thing up to 175 amps. Okay. So this is the app that comes with your controller, okay? And I put on the TV so you can watch me as I program it. Now I have a unlocked controller, unlocked controller. So you're not going to be able to probably do what I'm doing. Yours is going to be set at stock, which mine is right now. I said in my last video why it was set at stock. Actually, it was when I first got it. We had it too high. It blew out some hall sensors and blew out my display. Not at the same time, but we walked it back to, I think, 125 amps, and I've been walking it up every few weeks. Today we're going to go from the stock 150 to 175 amps. It can go a lot higher, probably safely, but I think that's good enough for today. And I'm going to ride it for a couple weeks, make sure everything's cool before I walk it up some more for the speed test, you know, to see how fast this thing can go. Today we're going to see how quick it can go. So anyways, when you have disconnected the display and you go ahead and pull up your app, this is the screen you're going to see. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to hit the not connected button, and it's going to pull up this. And if you see that, you're good to go. So you're going to click on that right there. I'll do it with my mouse, I guess. And it is going to connect you to your controller. And as you can see, I'm at 84 amps, fully charged. And if you look down here at the bottom, it says error type fault free. So when you see that, you're good to go. Everything's fine. So now we're going to go up to the wheel gear icon to your settings. And the very first setting screen you're going to see is what we're going to mess with. But I want to show you something real quick, because this is very important. I was even thinking about making a second video on this, all on its own, because this gave me about a month of grief before I personally figured it out. My bike guy didn't figure it out, and neither did Sal, who sold me this stuff, because he didn't even know about it. So we're going to go to, I believe it's function. Yes, function. Okay, if you happen to get this type of controller, I guess they're not, even though they're all Sabaton 150 amp controllers, depending on how new or old or firmware in it or whatever, you are going to have, and this is where was the bane of my existence for probably a month. So it's going to come stock. Okay, it's already set there. It's going to come stock with switch 3 gear. Switch 3 gear. Okay, so when I first got the bike, after I picked it up from the shop, it had a lot of torque and stuff, but it would not go over 47 miles an hour, no matter what we did. So I took it back to the shop. We called Sal, up amperage and voltage and you name it. We did everything. Then I tried it on my own, different combinations. Let's go back to the screen of this. And in the process, I ended up blowing my display, which was a faulty display, because it shouldn't have blown even at that higher amperage. But still, it blew the display, and the worst part was it blew a set of hall sensors. Now, these motors come with 2, so luckily I was able to unplug the one and plug in the other, and I was back in business. So I immediately dialed everything back below stock to like 125 amps and been walking it up. So we are at stock right now, actually. Okay, but what I'm trying to tell you is, if you get this controller and you have this option, some have it, some don't, and some don't even come with the switch 3 gear. Okay, so it actually has these options right here. We're going to see. So you have push button gear, boost, switch 3 gear, and hard start. Now, Sal said he's only been selling the ones with boost and hard start. He didn't even know about the switch 3 gear and the push button 3 gear. But anyway, so after we've tried everything, I finally, and I'd seen this, I didn't think much of it, right? I just left it on stock because everything else is pretty much stock. Figuring that, stock, I mean, it has to work on if everything's pretty much factory stock, right? So I got on the internet, downloaded their PDF on the controller, and I was reading it, and it said that the push button 3 gear was designed for if you had a actual switch, a toggle that would click, 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 you could go like low, medium, high. Now it did not say where it defaulted at, but I guarantee you it was not high, okay? It was either low or medium, because I would crack that throttle and I'd only get half the throttle. And even when I'm going slow and speeding up, I hit that 47, I still had half my throttle to go. It did nothing. So I wasn't getting full power, not even torque. Okay, I didn't know that yet. And that's why I almost flipped my bike. So anyways, as I was reading, I read the the push button 3 gear. So it was on the switch 3 gear, right? So you switch, boop, boop, boop. Just, and then I started reading on the push button 3 gear. And it said it defaulted at the highest level. So that what the push button 3 gear did is you just have, instead of a toggle, it's just a button. You go click, 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 instead of click, click, click. Like for a switch moving over from one to the other, you're just pushing a button. It's one click, click, click. So it defaults at the high, and then you click it the second time and it goes to medium. Click it the third time, it goes to low, and click it the another time, it goes to medium, and then high, medium, low, medium, high. Okay, so but the key was it defaulted at the high, the highest level. So I said, let's try that, because at least I know it's going to be at the highest level. I don't know, it didn't say where this one defaulted at. So I switched over to push button 3 gear, the first one, push button 3 gear, and which we're going to do right now. Boop. Push button 3 gear, and took it out for a spin, and it blew past 47 miles an hour. I was like flying past 55, 56, and I shut it down. I was like, okay, problem solved. I immediately called Drew over at Armored Bike Works, and he was like, man, I told Sal about that, and he said not to worry about it. So I called Sal. He said, man, dude, I've never even seen those. I gave him a screenshot. He says, I've never even seen those. That's the first time I've seen that on my controllers. He goes, it must be new. So my point is, if you see that when you're setting up your bike, make sure you go to function, set it to push button 3 gear, push button 3 gear, so you get all your power. Okay. Now that problem is solved, let's go and program this. So we are going to go 175. Okay. On everything, right down the line. Everything that's 150, we're going 175. 5. Oops. Okay. 150, I'm going 175. Okay. Whoa. Oh, that was not good. It's 5. Okay. All right, so we're now at 175 on everything. I'm going to up the max phase current to 380. Okay. I think that'll be okay. And then we're going to go ahead and leave the protected phase current at 450, which is right there. So if you see, it's 175, 175, 175, 380, 450. Do not try this with yours, because more than likely you will not have an unlocked controller. The max you're going to get is 150, 150, 150, 350. Okay, that's however it comes stock is what you're going to get. Now we're going to hit this reset button. I'm sorry, not the reset button. That's a factory reset. If you ever have to factory reset, that's what you hit. We're going to hit this to save it into the controller. I'm going to hit it twice just to make sure. So we're going to hit that, boom. And if you see down there, it says operation done. But we're going to wait for it to fade away. And we're going to do it one more time just to make sure. Okay, so we'll do it one more time. Operation done. And I'm going to go back and make sure my function, and we're on push button 3 gear. Yes. It also has regen. And that will stop you on a dime. And also recharge your battery every time you hit the brakes. Actually, no, you don't even have to hit the brakes on regen. As soon as you let go of the throttle, the regen kicks in, which I don't like because you can't coast. That's why I have the e-brake set up instead of regen. You don't get it. You cannot coast with regen enabled. Okay, but you can coast with the e-brake. The e-brake, right when you just start squeezing the brake, you have brake. Your actual physical brakes don't even engage. You have to squeeze it a little harder. But I mean, this lightest little touch, you're going to have your e-brake engaging. Okay, so we are set up. I believe everything looks fine. And okay, so we should be good. Fault free. Done. Okay. So now let's take this baby out and see what the hell it can do. Hi everybody. So we are behind Reader Link in the BDO in Ogden. And actually we're between two buildings. I used to work over here in Reader Link. This building right here. And the reason I picked this place is we have I don't know if this is a quarter mile or 3/4 of a mile, at least a quarter mile strip, at least, of very even asphalt. There's a lot of hills where we live. You're either going up or you're going down. This is flat. And I've seen motorcycles drag race here all the time, so this is probably a pretty good spot. Plus it's on a Saturday, so there's not going to be anybody here really. So what I'm going to do though, before I actually do the speed run, since I haven't really tested the new settings because I came here with my wife on her stock bike, so we're doing like, between 20 and 30 miles an hour, depending on if we were in the bike lane or not. I'm going to give it a few little test runs and just feel it out, and then we will do our test speed run. I'm going to do it with my speedometer rather than a GPS for two reasons. The GPS kind of lags, and we're talking tenths of seconds, and it's a little laggy. This is instantaneous. Besides, and another little hint too, when you get if you do these upgrades, your speedometer, it's going to tell you to set it at your wheel size. I have a 16-inch rim, and it came stock with 20-inch tires. The new tires they got on it bring it to about 22. At 22 or 20, it's off. I had to dial it down to 18. You can do that in the display very easily. So I dialed it down to 18 inches, and it's pretty spot on. So we're going to go ahead and run with it. So anyways, let's get going. Okay, let's see here. So we are going to put it through a few little test runs here, and let's go. Whoa. Front end came up a little bit. All right. right, not bad, not bad. Oh, look at this car. Couple more. Doesn't feel quite right. Oh, what was that? Okay, no errors. Don't see anything. Yo, another one. God damn, I gotta lean forward. Alright, we good. If the bike couldn't handle the settings, it would have, I would have got an error by now. So, we're good. Be ready. Alright, so, if you notice, my wife's over there with the helmet on. The reason for that is we have it, turn to the side, baby, so they can see your, no, the other side, so they can see your intercom. So we both got intercoms, and that way we can keep in communication. And the way I think we're going to do this, where's the stopwatch? Okay. So, it's all right. So we have a stopwatch. When I'm ready to go, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and she's going to click it. And then when I hit 50, I'm going to tell her to stop. And, well, that should do it. Pretty simple. So that's what we're going to do. So she's got to get her camera ready. Do you have the intercom on? Oh, shoot, I better turn mine on, huh? Oh, shoot, it was on. Dang. Okay, can you hear me? Okay, I can hear you too. Alright, so I'm going to come down here. Yeah, I got to lean forward. Got to remember that. Okay, there she is down there. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay, well, these intercoms are great. I'm going to have to put a link to these things. Okay, so tell me when you're all set up, camera, stopwatch, all that good stuff. All ready? Okay, I'm going to say on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, you're going to click it. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Oh, shit! No, man, front wheels came off the ground. And I didn't have it full throttle. I got to do another one. Because the front end came up and I killed the throttle and didn't. It's alright. No, it's fine. Do another one. Shit. Well, folks, it came up even with me leaning forward, so I'm going to have to, I can't just crack that throttle. I'm going to have to kind of ease into it a tiny bit at the beginning. Okay. Alright. Why are you, there we go. So, you know the drill on the count of 3, right? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Baby, let's go. Alright, that was pretty good.
Yep. I'm ready.
1, 2, 3.
Gee whiz. Okay. Gee whiz.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Stop. 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Stop. That did not sound good. Oh, shit. What the hell? Okay, stop. Damn it. Well, guys, this is why you don't get an unlocked controller with your kit from Sal. Um, Sometimes these MB motors can handle the extra current, and sometimes they can't. So when you get your kit, you're going to get an unlock controller, and you'll be fine. I was fine too. I've ran my bike for about 3 weeks to a month. 150 with absolutely zero issues, and I could do anything I wanted. Both times I had a problem was when I upped the amperage. The first time I upped it almost to 200, and it did not like it at all. It pretty much instantly blew out my first set of Hall sensors. This time we kind of walked it up. It scared me, so I went down to 125 and started walking it up. And then when I got to 150, I rode it around, like I said, 3 weeks to a month, just riding it hard, and it was fine. I thought 175 would be safe for this video, and obviously it wasn't. Well, actually, I take that back because it was running just fine. You've seen all the speed runs. There's actually a lot more than that. But, I didn't need to throw them all in there, mainly for time constraints on the video. But it was that last one. If I would have just did the final run one time before, I'd have been fine. So I called Drew and Sal, Drew of Armored Bike Works and Sal, and kind of all came to the same conclusion. It wasn't so much the amperage. I mean, it did make it was a factor in all this, but it kind of superheated the engine, because when I felt it, I mean, oh my, it was like you could have fried eggs on it real quick. And it just melted something, loosened something. I'm not even gonna open it up and look. I don't even care. I never trusted that motor since the first time I lost my Hall sensors. I don't like that I didn't have a backup. So we're just going to replace the whole thing, and this is another reason I'm glad I went to Sal. Sal is going to have a custom motor built for me, so this problem will never happen again. So I wanted a QS motor. I mean, who doesn't, right? A 6,000 watt QS motor, but unfortunately with the X Class, it's just super hard, if not impossible, to make it work. It just doesn't fit. So I got the next best thing. He got a hold of his contacts over at NB Power, and I'm going to have a custom motor built, kind of to like QS specs. So I'm going to have a 2.5 T winding on it and better Hall sensors. And if anybody knows anything about motors, 2.5 T winding is like, it'll be able to handle massive current. And I'm going to get bulletproof this time Hall sensors. That's kind of been the problem, is these Hall sensors just, they can handle the 150 and they can handle, you know, even the 175 they can handle, but repeated back and forth, full throttle runs, they crap out. So thank you, Sal, and MB Motor or MB Power for this custom motor I'm getting. So my bike's going to be down for a couple weeks, maybe, well, probably 3 or 4 weeks, because it's going to take about 2 weeks to get the motor, and another week for me to get it on there. In the meantime, I'm also going to be starting my wife's bike, at least getting parts. Sal's going to be sending me a 3,000 watt motor for her bike with a 60 amp controller, and some other parts. We need her bike to at least hit 45, 50 miles an hour so she can get in the flow of traffic. Because a lot of these bike lanes we get on and we like to ride on, they end just abruptly, and we end up in traffic for half a mile till we can get back in a bike lane. So she needs to be able to, because it's dangerous, right? When you're only doing 30, 35 and everybody's whipping past you doing 50 to get in and slow traffic down, and all you need is one distracted driver and bam. So we're gonna get hers up and running, and so she can at least go with the flow of traffic. And then we're going to be start our vlogging, riding. We both have helmet cams, and we're going to be riding all over Utah, some really interesting places. And it's going to be kind of unique because it's going to be, like I said, 2 cameras instead of just one person riding around. Get 2 people's perspective. So anyhow, yeah. I just want to say thank you to Al and MB Power for this custom motor I'm getting. I'm pretty excited. It's going to be close to the QS 6,000 watt motor, very close in specs. So that's going to be awesome. And I will keep you guys updated, and as we start building things and adding things and replacing things, I'll be shooting videos, and you can watch us on our journey. All right, see ya.